The apartment was perfect. Too perfect. Lisa had spent weeks searching for a place in the city that wouldn't drain her bank account. And when she found Shanjing Heights, she thought she'd gotten lucky. A spacious one-bedroom apartment in an older but well-kept building, with a rent so cheap she had to ask the landlord twice to make sure she'd heard correctly. "It's not in high demand," the old woman had said vaguely, handing Lisa the keys. Lisa didn't question it. She was too relieved to care. She signed the lease, paid the deposit, and moved in the next day. It wasn't until her first night that she realized something was off. The apartment had 2 bedrooms, not 1. The second room was empty. Lisa was sure the listing had described it as a 1-bedroom unit, but there it was, a small, windowless room at the end of the hallway, with only a single door leading inside. She didn't remember seeing it when she first toured the place. It was strange, but not enough to unsettle her. Maybe she'd been too distracted to notice it before. Still, something about the room made her uncomfortable. She kept the door shut. That night, Lisa woke up to a sound. It was soft at first, a faint shuffling noise coming from somewhere inside the apartment. She turned on her bedside lamp, listening carefully. Then she heard it again. Shh, shh, shh. A dragging sound, like something moving across the wooden floor. It was coming from the empty room. Lisa swallowed hard. She wasn't imagining it. Someone, or something, was inside. Gathering her courage, she tiptoed down the hallway, her heart hammering. The door to the empty room was still shut. She reached for the handle, hesitated, then slowly turned it. The door creaked open. The room was dark. She reached for the light switch and flicked it on. Empty. Lisa let out a shaky breath. Maybe she'd been dreaming. But as she turned to leave, she noticed something. The dust on the floor had been disturbed, as if something had been dragged across it. The following nights, things got worse. Lisa would wake up at exactly 3:12 a.m., feeling a suffocating presence in her room. She started hearing whispers coming from the empty room, faint but unmistakable. She tried to convince herself it was her imagination. Until one night, when she woke up and found the door to the empty room wide open. She had locked it. She was sure of it. The next morning, Lisa called the landlord. "You never mentioned there were 2 bedrooms, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. The old woman on the other end of the line was silent for a long moment. Then, in a low voice, she said, "That room is not for you." Lisa's stomach twisted. "What do you mean?" "Just keep it closed, and whatever you do, don't go inside at night." She hung up before Lisa could ask anything else. That night, Lisa blocked the door with her dresser. If something wanted to get out, it wouldn't be able to. She forced herself to sleep. At 3:12 a.m., she woke up. The air in the apartment was thick, heavy, like something was pressing down on her chest. Then she heard it. The sound of furniture scraping across the floor. Her breath caught in her throat. She turned on the light. The dresser was gone. Her stomach dropped. She turned to the empty room. The door was wide open, and inside, someone was standing there. Lisa ran. She didn't stop to look. She didn't even stop to breathe. She grabbed her keys, bolted out of the apartment, and didn't look back. The next morning, she returned with the landlord. The old woman looked pale when she saw the open door. She sighed, rubbing her temples. "It always happens," she muttered. Lisa turned to her, voice shaking. "What is in that room?" The landlord hesitated, then said, "A long time ago, there was a tenant in that apartment, a young man. He lived there alone. One day, he locked himself in that room and never came out. Lisa's skin crawled. They found him a week later, the landlord continued. The door was locked from the inside, but there were scratch marks on the walls, like he was trying to get out. Lisa felt cold all over. After that, strange things started happening. New tenants complained. Some left within days, others never left at all. Lisa swallowed hard. "And the rent?" she asked. The old woman gave her a tired smile. "That's why it's so cheap." Lisa moved out that same day. She never looked back, but sometimes, late at night, when she lies in bed in her new home, she swears she still hears it. Shh, shh, shh. The sound of something dragging across the floor.